Alright, this is Chat UTD and my response to United's 2-1 win at Anfield. We were a bit lucky, if I'm honest with you. Gakpo hit the woodwork 3 times, but I said the other day, football's changed. It's not what it used to be, and it isn't, but that was sweet. It's always good to go to Liverpool and win. That's where you, like, your history as being a United fan, all of it just for me rages to the surface of awareness, where you're like, that's what it feels like to get a win against Liverpool. That's what it feels like to support this football club. Moments like that are very special and need to be savoured. It's 2 wins out of 2 in the league for the first time in more than a year. It's the first time Amarim's achieved that, which is that a monkey off his back, I guess. 13 points from the first 8 games of the season, which, when you consider who we've played 4 of the top 4 from last season. The top 4 from last season. I think that's a good, or certainly a decent return. So, will it be a pivotal win? I don't know. We'll talk about that again at the end. But it's a win, and it's a win at Anfield. And particularly when you consider that they scored the equaliser and all the momentum was with them, it was done the hard way, and it was done probably in an unorthodox way. Let's go through the game and then give some opinion later on. The start is amazing. My concern going into the game today was if we concede a goal in the first 5-10 minutes, it's going to be a really long afternoon. It was the opposite. We score a goal, and I think it stunned them. I think it really did, and it gives us something to hold on to. But not just that. Then on the counter attack, we're a real threat to 2-0 doesn't kill the game, but it's a significant lead to have, and I thought we were a threat to get that second goal. And as I mentioned earlier in the season, today was one of those days where we did create some chances. Fernandes had a particularly good chance, which you'd expect him to do better with. We had some other moments, but it wasn't just that we had moments and we had chances, which I think we could do better with, which we did. It was that at times that the final ball just wasn't quite right, or we held on to the ball a bit too long, or the choice of pass wasn't right. And that's happened a few times this season, where it's not necessarily been that we've missed gilt-edged chances, it's been that there's been an opportunity to create a gilt-edged chance and we haven't put the ball through quick enough, or we've chosen the wrong pass, or whatever it might be. And I thought that was the case again in the first half. With better choices in the final third, I think we really could have punished them today. And let's not forget the fact they did have some big chances. Gakpo's hit the woodwork 3 times. He's missed an absolute sitter with an open goal pretty much with his head. Salah missed the chance, but I don't really care about them. They've had their moments in the game, but I'm thinking about us. We had some good moments and some good opportunities, and some good opportunities to create opportunities, and we didn't quite take those moments. I think that front 3 of Mount, Cunha and Mbeumo is fluid, and I think it's quite cohesive. And I look at it at times and think, if this clicks, and it hasn't yet, but if those 3 click, I think we could give someone a good hiding. Like it could be quite special. I don't know if it is ever going to click, and certainly if it's I don't know if it's going to be consistent enough to be there game in, game out. And he spent a lot of money on Seshko, but I think we look at our best when those 3 are on the pitch. And in the first half in particular, I liked the way the team was set up, and I think we looked quite good. Second half, I think we sat back. Liverpool at around 55 minutes or the hour mark made changes, went for it. You know, fair play to Slot. In a stick or twist moment, he absolutely twisted. He went for it, and I just felt like we invited them onto us a little bit. Our threat on the counter attack wasn't there as much. As soon as Mount came off in particular, I think we lost any threat that we had going forward until they equalised, that is, but I'll get to that in a bit. And it felt like we were almost waiting for them to equalise, and it was an inevitability, which in the end they did. I thought he was offside. Gakpo. Even when I saw the replay, I thought he was offside. But I think I'm wearing United tinted glasses, and maybe I'm completely wrong. But I still think he was offside. Maybe I'm wrong. And then obviously the crowd are up. You're thinking it's inevitable they're going to go on and win the game. But at least United showed ambition to go and try and win the game then. They didn't sit on a 1-1. They didn't just try and defend it. We started to play again. And the winning goal is it's a piece of genius from Fernandes. It's a majestic ball, improvisation, superb football, and Maguire's header back across the goalkeeper is textbook. It's what you teach youngsters to do. When the ball comes at that angle, you head it back where it came from into the other side of the net. No chance for the keeper. And a magical moment for Maguire in front of the fans, the United fans. We retreated again then, really. I felt like bar one attack where Mbeumo puts a good cross in and De Ligt probably could have done a bit better. We retreated and they were knocking on the door, but we defended our box pretty well. We did. Cunha was immense today. And so many times he was the out ball. He's getting whacked left, right and centre. The referee's not giving it. There's free kicks. But he kept getting hit. He kept the ball. He's tough. He looks like quite a slim lad, but he's tough. He's strong. He's taking hits. He's holding the ball up. He's taking it in tight spaces. He's sometimes hitting the ground and then he's getting back up and retrieving the ball again. He's canny. He's streetwise. He's got a bit of shithousery about him, which I like. And for me, he's done all right for United so far without it really igniting. And he's had an injury. It's been a bit frustrating for him. He's had a lot of nearly moments for United. Today was the day for me where he arrived as a United player. I thought he played really, really well. I thought he was our best player today. Put a proper shift in. And the final whistle's just magic. Magical moment. Cheers. To celebrate with our fans and first time in 9 years since we've won at Anfield? Too long, far too long, but a great day. Individual performances, I'll start with the negatives. Dalot is a liability. I think he's poor. When you see a player dive to the ground as often as he does and make hero tackles as often he does, when it's that same player over and over again, either he's making up for an incompetent teammate or he's having to recover from something he's done wrong. And I see it a lot with Dalot, where his starting position is terrible. And he is pretty quick, so he dashes back into position and he slides in and wins the ball back or puts it out for a throw or whatever. And then he's getting up and he's pumped up and he's high-fiving people. And you're like, well, if you'd have done your job properly in the first place, you wouldn't have had to make the tackle. And I think that happens a lot with him. Rio Ferdinand always used to say it. The best games for him are when he comes off the pitch and he ain't got any mud on his shorts, because it means that he's been doing the basics of his job properly. As a defender, if you're consistently having to go to ground and make these massive challenges, probably something's not quite right. I think on the ball, I don't think he's particularly good. I don't think his decision making is very good. His positional sense is not very good. In a couple of times when he moved back out to the right hand side, he invited Ekitike to come in and shoot, which is, tantamount to suicide when you're trying to defend a lead. You don't let a player of that quality keep cutting in and shooting. Luckily for us today, he didn't have his shooting boots on. But I don't know why Ahmad came off. I thought Ahmad was playing well, and it seems to me that Dalot is a little bit of a blind spot for Amrin. Is it too simplistic to say it's because he's Portuguese? Maybe, but I don't get it. Don't get why he's playing. We need a right wing back. We need a proper right wing back. He's not it, and I thought he was poor today. Probably a bit better in the second half, but again, I think it's deceiving because he makes challenges and you think, oh, he's getting stuck in. He's certainly no doubt in the lad's endeavour and his intent to do his best for the team and for the club. And I think he is. I think he gets it. He gets that. It's you're in a privileged position to play for Man United, but he's been here 7 or 8 years. And when he went on loan to AC Milan, he shouldn't have come back. He's not a United player. I'm sorry, I didn't finish the point. It's deceiving because sometimes he makes challenges and you're like, oh, actually, he's doing all right. But he's making those challenges because his starting position's so poor. So him not so good today. The other one I'd say didn't do so well, I think that's an understatement, was Seshko. I thought we really lacked impetus when after Mount left the pitch. And Seshko's not held the ball up, is consistently gave the ball back to Liverpool. There was moments where if he's a little bit more decisive, I think he can create something, but he doesn't. He didn't look like he was up to the speed of the game. He didn't press. Maybe he was told not to. Maybe he was told to sit off. But he didn't press once. And at 1-0 up and at 2-1 up, you don't give Virgil van Dijk all the time in the world to build attacks. Van Dijk's decent on the ball. Go and hassle him and harry him. As I say, maybe that was an instruction. I don't know. But I thought he was quite poor today. And for a big boy, which he is, in the air today in particular, he didn't offer anything. Van Dijk had him every time. So I'm not judging him yet. I'm just calling it as I see it for today. I'm not writing him off by any means. He's a young player and he's got loads of time and loads of potential. But from what I've seen so far, he certainly isn't the type of player that I think comes in and just starts smashing goals in left, right and centre and has a 15, 20 goal season. Well, maybe he might have a 15 goal season, but I don't see him getting 20, 25 goals. He's not a guarantee, let's put it that way. I think it could go either way with him. And I thought he was pretty poor today. And Leon, hopefully you will be watching. You thought Bruno was poor. I must admit, maybe I've got blinkers on when it comes to Bruno, and it concerns me a bit because you're texting me saying Bruno's been shit. How's he still on the pitch? And I'm thinking, I think he's been all right. I completely hold my hands up and say maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm not seeing it the same as other people because I just love the fella. And that's why for me his assist is why you don't bring him off earlier, because he's the only one on the pitch that can do something. Maybe Cunha could do something like that as well, but it's just a majestic pass and it's a match-winning assist. And I didn't think he was that bad, but maybe I'm wrong. In terms of the positives, Maguire immense today. I thought some eyebrows raised about his selection. I think he's always going to play in a game like that. He's a good egg, Maguire. When I say he's won me over, it doesn't matter what I think. I'm not saying it like my opinion is important, but what I would say is in the first couple of years, I just was like, I don't get what he brings to the party. He's not what I expected him to be. But he had a real challenge in his career at United, and we've seen the measure of the man in his response to it. And I thought today he was good defensively. He cleared the ball a lot of times. He got his head on stuff. He was the first one there to get balls away and things like that. And he's always a threat in the opposition box. And he was good. De Ligt, I would say, as always, was very, very good. Mount was neat and tidy. Mbeumo was good. For me, the standout player was Cunha. Tell you what, Lamens didn't have loads to do today and did one very strange catch in the second half. But I just feel, and I might be wrong, that the team look more settled with him behind them. I feel like he instills a bit of confidence. Got quite a nice presence about him as a goalkeeper, and it's very early days, and maybe it's just because we've been so used to such poor goalkeeping over the last couple of years. But I'm impressed so far, and he's played at Anfield now, so there's no excuse not to play him in hostile environments and stuff now. He's played in Anfield. We've won 2 games out of 2 since he's come in. He's conceded 1 goal. He looks calm. He looks confident. There's just no fuss. There's no drama to him. So far, so good, and I'm happy for him. Just a little dynamic to watch out for. I mentioned Cunha and how brilliant I thought he was today, and absolutely for me, he was the man of the match. A little dynamic between him and Bruno. Bruno wants to be the main guy in the team because he's been the main guy in the team for as long as he's come into the team. He walked into a team that included the likes of Pogba and was just like, hold my beer, give me the ball, I'll show you how it's done. I don't need player X, Y, or Z next to me to make it work, like you've been screaming out for the last 3 years, that you can only do it if you've got certain players next to you. Just give me the ball, I'll show you how to do it. Goal, 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 assist, assist, assist. Proper player. And took the job as being United's main man. But Cunha also strikes me like that. And I don't think they dislike each other or anything like that, but I think when they're both in the team, I don't know if there's room for both of them. I think ultimately in the next couple of years, if Cunha can continue on an upward trajectory for United, I think Cunha replaces Bruno as that main guy, your go-to guy. That's what he was at Wolves. And when you look at him, he wears that shirt naturally. He doesn't look like it weighs heavy on him. As I said before, he takes it in difficult situations. He fronts up. He's strong. He's physically strong. He uses the ball well. He's got a calmness about him. He's got great day for him today. But I'm not sure. What's that old expression? This town ain't big enough for the both of us. I think there's something in that there. I think that's it in terms of the individuals. Just listen. It's a massive day for our fans, for the players, for Amorim, of course. I think we can get carried away. Can't remember what in the build-up to the game, one of the YouTube channels was sort of saying about what's referred to as Wanfield when Juan Mata scored that brilliant goal. I think he scored 2 and we won at Anfield. I think it was when Van Gaal was the manager, and people sort of saying, "Oh, we still look back on that." And the players that day were legends because they won that game. Players are legends when they win Premier Leagues, plural, not singular. Premier Leagues, when they do well in the Champions League, when you build eras, that's when you're a legend. You're not a legend because you've won one game. If you win a big game at Anfield and it contributes to a title, i.e. John O'Shea's injury time winner in 2007, then fine, I understand. But winning a game when you finish 4th in a season, 10 years ago, I don't make you a legend. No, I love Juan Mata, by the way. And if he's a legend because of a lot of other things, not just that. So these players are not legends by any stretch of the imagination because they won one game at Anfield. But it's a great win. By the way, where did he get 8 minutes from? I should have said that before. 8 minutes injury time. Is it just, let's just play until Liverpool equalise? Well, it didn't work, did it? Four defeats out of 4, by the way, for Liverpool. 2 points behind them in the league table. The big question now, obviously, is, will United kick on? Will they use this as a foundation to go from? I don't want to end on a negative, but I doubt it, just because I'm sceptical for good reason that we've been here before, where we've got a good result and we've felt like we're turning the corner and we're not. But do you know what? At least we're in the position where we can ask the question here. Maybe this is an opportunity to turn the corner. Maybe this is an opportunity for us to kick on and move forward. Because it was highly likely at the start of play today that we wouldn't be having this conversation, and here we are having it. We've won 2 games in a row, 13 points from the first 8 games when you consider we've played Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Liverpool. I think I said before the season, if you come away with 12 or 13 points from that, that's a half decent start to the season. You're 1 win away from 2 points per game. So it could be a hinge result. It really could, especially if we do kick on now. Brighton at home next week, which is a notoriously difficult game for us. We don't tend to do very well against Brighton at Old Trafford. But one thing's for sure, we now have a foundation. Whether they build on it or not, I don't know. But we have the foundation to build from. At some point, as I've said before, we'll be unaware that we're in a phase of time with United that is the prelude to us hopefully becoming a decent team again, where that ceiling is, as I mentioned many times before, it's not as high as it used to be. But even if you think about, I don't know, a team that's going to finish top 6, which I don't think we will, at some point we'll be watching the early formation of that. Maybe we are now. I don't think we are. I still think we'll probably finish in the bottom half this season, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't want to put a downer on it, I still think Amorim probably will get sacked at some point this season. But maybe this is the day. Maybe this is the day when he goes, remember that day at Anfield when we won? And it started just to turn our mentality into something slightly different. Maybe this is the day. And let's hope so. But one thing's for sure, great win, brilliant win, delighted for the boys. And like I said, I think at the start of the video, maybe football isn't what it used to be, but I'll tell you what, it's still sweet as anything to go there and win. Absolutely amazing. So get in, Glazers out.